I make her. I make her. How are we doing? Do we need to go down, down? Now, how's that?
Still too loud.
Yeah.
Still too loud.
Too loud.
I don't control it. He controls it. You okay?
Right-handed God.
Yeah. It's a left-handed job. Is this okay? No.
Yeah. We can hear.
Okay. You know, when you're going to be a speaker here, you tell them what days you're available, but then you get assigned a day that you're going to talk, and then you get a theme that you're supposed to talk about. And what I do is I, start making notes on that theme right away. Sometimes it's weeks ahead of time. And sometimes I have brilliant ideas that I put down. But, in actuality, our talks don't come from us. They come from Divine Spirit. And sometimes I have these brilliant ideas written down and Divine Spirit says, nope. That's not what you're talking about this time. And so I just want to mention that because along the process of this talk, Jean said, it's Mother's Day as well. And man, did I have really good things to say about Mother's Day, but apparently Divine Spirit doesn't have that message for you. Sorry, mothers. I have to say what comes through, so I'm not speaking about Mother's Day. I am speaking about expectations, though. I've got half of it on. We have expectations about our religions from the time when we're very young. And I know some of us spent a lot of time in churches, and others didn't go to church at all. And we can think, well, we didn't get any religion when we were young because we didn't go to church. But, it's all through our society. All of the friends that you talk to, books that you read, it's in movies. There's references to heaven and hell and salvation. All through our lives from the times when we're very young. And so we do get this religious upbringing one way or the other that affects us. And we modify it as we grow up. And we change it to fit us. I mean, that's why we're here. We've all modified whatever original religious ideas we had. And so now here we have some very liberal, new interpretation Christians, and we have some maybe not practicing Hindus and some Americanized Buddhas and a lot of religious scientists and new thinkers and all sorts of religious people here. But I wonder if what we really need to do is get rid of all religion out of our lives, out of our labels of who we are. And I think that what happens is a label is a word that we put on us, right? And so if you fit into that word, what a word does is limit. That's the job of a word. It limits things. If we say, Stella's sitting in this chair, then there's a million things that Stella's not sitting on because we've limited it by giving that label. Now, if we say someone's, a Democrat, then there might be lots of things about them, but there's things they cannot be as well, and they contain it in there. That's what labels do. They put things in cages. I mean, we could say that I'm, say, a brilliant, witty, handsome man. And then there's a million things that I'm not, but who cares since that wasn't the point. It's that labels put us into boxes. And so if we accept some label of a religion, can we encompass an infinite God, the infinite oneness within that label? I mean, maybe what should happen, maybe if somebody says, well, what religion are you? We should say, well, Because that's really all that contains the infiniteness of what we're looking for. And that's important to us. We are here as seekers, right? We're seeking this enlightenment. And if you're going to look for this ultimate truth, you have to be free to look everywhere. You cannot have blinders on you, because the infinite oneness, God, is all things. You cannot limit yourself. And so it's important where you look, and it's important how you look. How you look is a critical issue as well. There's a famous Zen Buddhism quote that says, "Before I sought enlightenment, a mountain was just a mountain, and water was just water. And as I sought enlightenment, a mountain became more than a mountain, and water became more than water. And when I found enlightenment, a mountain was once again just a mountain, and water just water." Now, what is this? The ultimate attainment of consciousness, and we've returned back to where we've started. We've returned to the ordinary world where a mountain is just a mountain. And yet, the great Master Jesus, when his disciples said, "When will the kingdom of God come?" he said, "What you seek is already here. The kingdom of God is inside you and outside you. It's right here." What they're telling us is that divinity, the kingdom of God, the ultimate truth, is right around us at all times. What we need to do is we need to figure out how to look to see it. I mean, maybe dogs have the answer. You ever talk to a dog and it goes, I mean, maybe it's the way we tilt our heads, or maybe if we squint our eyes, or get that far off look like you're staring through everything. I mean, we're looking, when we say we want to find the kingdom of God right here and right now, we want to look for some magic view, right? We want to see some aura, we want to see some astral beings floating around. But what if, what if the magical view is that the everyday things around us are the kingdom of God? What if that's the magic? That it's right here, and all we have to do is look at it in the right way. But you see, we look at things the way we're taught to look. Or in effect, we see what we expect to see. There was a experiment done at Harvard by some students. And what they did was they took, 8 or 10 students. They're just dressed in regular clothes. And they had them play a little game of basketball, and they videotaped it. I mean, it's just, a little half-court shot. They're just right around there playing. And then they showed this about 4 or 5 minute video to hundreds of people, mostly students, of course, but hundreds and hundreds of people. And when they started to watch it, they would say, "We want you to count the number of passes that are made, the number of times people pass the ball." And so they had them watch this video, and then they asked them, "How many passes did you see? And did you see a gorilla?" Because you see, the other thing they did was 4 or 5 times within that series, a student dressed in a gorilla outfit kind of went through the scene. And half of the people never saw the gorilla. Half of the people watched that 5-minute video with this gorilla going through it and never saw it. Because they already had set their expectations. They were going to see some students playing basketball. That's what's in their mind, and that's what they saw. So if we want to see the kingdom of God right here, when we open our eyes, if you close your eyes, when you open your eyes, you have to totally expect to see the kingdom of God. That's what it is. You have to know, not just logically, you have to know that when you open your eyes, you're going to see the kingdom of God. And now how do we teach people to do this? How do we teach people to see this ultimate truth, this oneness? Well, one of the main ways we do it is we teach them to look for the good, right? I mean, some of us were at this event last night where wonderful people were doing wonderful things for other people. And while we were there, Nicole was there, and she had this cute little puppy on her. How nice is that? And we have these beautiful flowers that Angie brought for all the women today. We can look for the beauty, and we teach ourselves to look for beauty and look for good. In fact, we teach techniques, don't we? Here's how you bring goodness into your life. Do these things and bring goodness in. And not only that, we have the power, the prayer of protection to keep the bad things out. But of course, some of those bad things slip in, don't they? Even here in the kingdom of God, some of those bad things slip in. But mostly we can deal with that because, you know, your car doesn't start. And then it's such a hassle and you have to deal with that. And then later you find out there was a wreck on the highway and you missed it. And so it was a good thing. Or something messes up and you lose your job, say. And then you go out, you get your act together, get out there and you find a better job. And so this bad stuff led to good. But you know, the real threat to the kingdom of God it's the really bad stuff. I mean, a ferry sank in South Korea and several hundred young teenagers died horrible deaths. I mean, do you go to those people and say, well, something good's going to come of this? Horrible things happen. They've happened to some of us. Accidents and diseases and murders and wars. And yet, we're in the kingdom of God. And I thought about this a lot. And I'm going to take another little step into another place right here. And some of you are going to come with me, but some of you won't. I can tell you this. Some of you are going to say, well, you know, that Reverend Bob, he's a brilliant, witty, handsome guy. But he's absolutely crazy. But I'm going to take you on this little bit of journey, this little bit of step, because what I'm going to tell you is you will find the kingdom of God in the bad, in what's horrible. Do you want to know where hell is? Hell is right in the middle of the kingdom of God. And this is the way it is. It's all God. And this is the hard part. This is the step to take to get there. And I'll tell you, I tried to think that through. Just like we did with the other ones. Just like I did with that wreck and stuff. And I tried to think it through, and I tried to think, well, how do these bad things lead to good? But you know what? That step is not there. Logic and rational thought can lead you there. And I just did that. I took those several steps and got us right here that says hell is in the middle of heaven. But no logic in the world will explain that. And if you want to get there, what you have to do is get to that end, get to that edge, and be willing to close your eyes and take that leap of faith and open your eyes up with the absolute knowledge that you are in the kingdom of heaven. And when you do that, you're going to know the oneness that is all things. Thank you.
Yeah.